Welcome back to Universal Journey Talk, Part 5 of Episode 5.
And people living longer now, back compared to it just in the Bible. Like guys like Enoch and them, they were living 300, 4 years to 1,000 years old. Methuselah, like way more than like our little petty 100 years. That's nothing. That's actually like a joke. That's not a long life, especially back then in the Bible time. Which I'm talking even before the Bible. You know what I mean? But but in those times alone, they were living 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 years. We can't even we're bragging about 95, 104, 110. That's nothing. That's just, to
But,
me, that's not even something to really even like. That's just nothing to brag about.
right,
That
but,
to me, that's relatively elementary
yeah, I mean,
to.
and look, I do acknowledge that, yes, they, back in the early Bible times, we're talking in the Hebrew scriptures, they last, but that only goes into maybe like, I think like Exodus, maybe a little bit further. After that, life dropped down right back
Yeah.
to down, like,
What does that show you?
extremely low again. So I'm just saying though, is
That's my point.
for most of our human history, it's been very we did not live very long at all. Like it was the very first humans that the first few generations that supposedly lived for like hundreds of years. After that, it dropped down significantly. You know what I mean? So you
Now
know,
why? Now why is that? Because we lost our connection. We
well,
lost our
fine,
connection
fine,
to source, to
but
God.
but also, but I'm just saying,
That's why we don't have a third eye anymore. We only use five senses.
fine,
So we've gotten worse as a species.
okay, well, fine, but
We got better.
here's my thing.
And the world is
If
showing it.
if you look at the fact that basically, or going by what we believe and what a lot of other people believe, that that since humans were essentially created and deemed human by the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki, when they came here, this is all in the Sumerian text. They also came here with a slave species called the Ajiji, and after hundreds or thousands of years, when they came here, the Gigi were their slaves, and they did all the work. It's all talked about it, in those clay tablets. They finally rebelled against the Anunnaki because they were being treated. Well, they were slaves, and they were being treated as slaves, and they hated it. So even the concept of being a slave was started off by the Anunnaki, who are perfectly fine with it, perfectly dominating and being unfair to a whole other species. So they rebelled against them. They were not powerful enough to beat the Anunnaki. So the Anunnaki just basically wiped them out. And then that's why they needed more, and that's why they made it. Made humans. But the whole idea of even slavery is one of the worst ways to live because you basically have no rights. Like anything is tantamount to death. Just whatever, kill them. So what I'm saying is for most of human history of life, slavery has gone along for a long time. It's only just been in the past few hundred years that we finally mostly got rid of it. So I'm still saying that our level of civil rights and things like that is way better than most of all of our history going back. As far as goes, people being treated better. I don't see how that's even like in question.
I, a lot of times when you hear stories, it'd be like saying everything that's happened in the world is only happening in America. There's countries all around that aren't part of the media, that people are living fine, that actually didn't undergo all this war, and even back in the medieval times, other than like when we're talking about like the main countries which are the center of attention, all the stories would be talking about rather it's the Nordics, or the African tribes, or you know um, Jerusalem. You know what I mean? To England. You know what I mean? Where you see that there's a pattern, but or a lot of our knowledge really was lost ever since even Alexandria, when the library was burned down. that literally set us back 1,000 years. So there's so much information that we're only getting just a small little bit. It's like trying to read the whole Bible, but it's only half-assed. Where you're getting a few books, and we think that that's the end all be all, and that's all the knowledge is. You know what I mean? When there's so much more knowledge that it's been lost. And the thing is, when I was saying or how with aliens being coming here, or how it would change a lot of people's belief system, I'm saying from a sinister side, like the reason why it's aliens and things don't even want to be talked about or hidden by governments or thing, but we can go back to like the Vatican and like it would change things and their beliefs. They have an understanding how they want what people to believe and how things were. If they let a lot of things out now, they know that would be a problem, and then they would have to change a lot of their story. You know what I mean? Which is always there's a lot of sinister things that go on. That's why so many things are hidden. You know what I mean? And it is not just going to be put out, out there just for the public to just like I would love the government and just like, hey, this is what's really going on. Usually, that's not the case. If there's anything that's weird, whatever, you probably ain't ever gonna know about it until it's some whistleblower or something. You know what I mean? Where then they don't have any choice. But usually right from the door, they're gonna try and cover it up to the fullest until eventually you can't cover it. It's already out. You know what I mean? And then they'll go into Plan B. All right, how are we gonna water this down and dilute it and kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's yeah. I always notice whenever there's some theory or whatever, my thing is, hey, I'm not saying believe every theory or this, but sometimes I do listen to the explanation now when I hear like when the government's saying something, I'm like, wow. I'm saying like, hey guys, I understand if you don't want the public to know, and if you're gonna lie, there's actually a better way to lie about it. Sometimes it's like you can't do better than that. I'll help you come up with something better. Sometimes I'm like, now actually, I'm surprised the public's still gonna actually be okay with that statement, because I'm like, that's the wackest statement I could ever hear. If that's like at least try to lie to people, at least come up with something good. Sometimes it's the statements you get is almost like, wow, I think these governments or whatever they're starting to lose their edge.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, look, I mean, clearly, as when we talked about fluoride's the worst story that they ever gave us of why they put it in the water. So, hey, you know what? I guess the bottom line is we only know what we know. I'll tell you what, I would like for us to have, like you said, some type of, supernatural, extraterrestrial event happen, just so we can kind of like maybe see where it goes. Maybe it would help us open our eyes. Maybe it would be a peaceful event where we can really all, it would help everyone to move forward. I do agree with you though, with the same thing though is that at least as far as goes the Anunnaki thing, just to give a little more storyline about that, is apparently that their planet is within our solar system, but it goes in and out in a elliptical, travel that it goes in. So it doesn't just spin around our planet; it goes kind of in and out of our known solar system. So I believe, and I forget how long it is. It's something like it takes like 30,000 years, or I don't know, 3,000 years or 30,000 years, something like that, for it to go all the way out and come all the way back in. So it would make sense that basically, even if they, were here and they have all intentions to coming back, they're not like all powerful where they can just fly in from all the way out there. They have to wait for their planet to come back in relative, proximity to our planet. Then they can come do what they need to do, and then they have to get back on their planet before it leaves our solar system again. Which that would kind of make some sense why it's like, well, they were here thousands of years ago. Why did they have to leave? Or why aren't they not back yet? Well, it would make sense if that is the case, then because they are on their way back, but they need for it to go all the way back out and to come back in. And clearly, most of us will have been born and died before the next event even ever happens.
Yeah, like
you know,
a long time ago.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like some theories also, like a lot of your aliens, you know, they say, or are us. We're time travelers. You know what I mean? Coming back. So there's a lot of things, stargates, and all these. Like it's not aliens and any conversation. It's not one thing. It's not just one entity. There's so much. I mean, there's just so many dimensions to look at it, and it just it's not. I mean, some beings aren't even like in a physical form. You know, you got aliens that are just, you know, that are more energy beings, and it just goes so much deeper. And also people also got to remember, aliens got other things too, man. They're not just like, oh, they did this here, why did they come back? Like, remember, they're not like our parents. They're not just gonna be sitting there hanging out all the time. They got other shit they're doing. Like, just like they came here for a reason to mine gold and whatever.
Right.
Then they left. And they're working on their planet and doing other things. Like, it isn't
True enough, yeah.
Oh, Earth is the only thing that's on their mind, and the only thing they want to do is prove to the humans that, to let them know that we exist and this and that. Like they got a lot of other shit. It goes beyond just we have to show humans you know, that we exist and that we're here.
Yeah, I get you.
They'll do it in their time, patience.
Right.
You know,
right.
If the patience is patience.
Yeah.
What is the rush?
Right. Well, you know what? I think
to a bratty ass human planet.
Yeah. Well, exactly. You know what? I mean, bottom line is, it always comes down to, which is, you know, once again, our ego is, you know, we want everything to happen in our time, and if it doesn't, then it must not exist. If it doesn't happen in our time, it must not exist. But you know, I mean, hey, look. So once again, well, I'm just gonna hope, because it would really, really be cool. Now, I almost kind of hope if it does happen, I'm pretty old by then. So if it is a hugest malicious takeover, I'll be dying soon anyway. So it'll be everyone else's problem.
If you reincarnate only a few years later, then you're coming back to the same shit.
Well, we'll see how that works out. You know what? You know, like I've got different ideas on reincarnation. Like I don't necessarily believe I may come back on this planet. I believe I can maybe go somewhere else or be something totally entirely different. So to me, I'm fine with whatever happens. We'll see. I mean, energy, and whatever you know, goes into different forms, and you know that part is a whole other story. So
so much to learn.
Yeah, exactly. So hey, I think we're getting pretty late here, so I'm probably just gonna stop it here though. But
yeah, you need to stop.
So anyway, hey, look, good talking to you. You know, most important thing is just to once again just kind of just keep remembering that, you know what, regardless of what happens, it's more about what's going on in here and in our hearts and everything that really is going to, regardless, whatever happens, you can't change. We change our minds, and we are the ones that have our spirit and stuff, whatever. So whatever happens, it is what it is. It's all about what we do. So, that's it, man. I guess we'll talk to everyone later. Once again, we appreciate everyone's comments and stuff like that. So, keep them coming. We like to hear what other people are thinking and stuff. And I guess that's it, man.
Wait, I'm not done. One more thing.
Uh-oh.
Remember this. When present, you create your own reality. When not present, you become part of someone else's reality.
Boom. And we're going to leave it there. All right, take care, everybody. Peace
out.
Thanks for watching. Give us a like. We'll be replying to your comments in our next episodes. We post almost daily, so subscribe to keep up with the latest.